Hi everyone, this is Cherry Enchantress, and I'm here with your daily dust for Friday, August 4th, if you're watching in real time, but it can be for whenever you stumble upon it. It's also a timeless reading. I've been enjoying doing themes for every month. Last month we had romantic and love tarot and oracle decks, and this month's theme is artistic decks or art decks from anywhere from classic fine art to more of the contemporary indie decks out there showcasing their modern art. So it'll be a nice variety of art focused decks. You could pretty much say that about any tarot deck, that it's art focused, but I'm going to do more of the drawing type art focus here. Okay, or painting. So one of the great decks that I have is good for romance and for art is the Victorian Romantic Tarot. Much like my Enchanted Romance, it features a genre of artists, and this one is pre-Raphaelite masters, whereas the Victorian Romantic Tarot is neither pre-Raphaelites or impressionistic. It's more of the Victorian classicism or Victorian romanticism. So there's really beautiful artwork in this deck, and it's beautifully designed, and it's also holographic. Oh, there we go. I didn't want to miss the card. And so it catches the light, and it also has kind of it's layered according to the lighting. It's really beautiful, and I love the backing. All right, so let's see what we get today. So your daily dust is a 3-card collective message. My motto here is faith, trust, and pixie dust, and that's where the pixie dust comes from. It's having the faith and the trust, which are, to me, steps towards achieving your manifestation, and the pixie dust is sort of the magic here. And so I focus on lots of areas, but definitely romance is one of the stronger areas that I focus on. And so that being said, I feel like that energy comes out a lot, but we do have a lot of other energies coming out as well. And it's a daily thing. It's a mundane sometimes, and sometimes it can be very profound. Let's see what we get. Ooh, you got Strength card. Very nice. Strength card came out in our monthly reading, so I recommend that. And it's really, really special because strength represents lions and the Leo, and this is Leo season that we're in, if you're watching in real time. We have the Ace of Wands. This is one of the most beautiful cards in this deck, I think. And ooh, the Devil. There's 2 devils in this deck, and this one is like the hedonistic devil, the one that's indulging. Let's zoom on in and see what we get. So in our August reading, the Strength card coming out made me think of the Serenity Prayer. And it's something like, God grant me, or Lord grant me, the courage to change what I can change, the serenity to accept what I can't change, and the wisdom to know the difference. So it's a wish for 3 things here. But for you, the strongest part of this wish is the courage. Courage to change what you can change, You may still need the wisdom to know if it is something you can change, but I think you've probably passed that. You've passed that goal of knowing what you can change. Now you just have to have the courage to do it. And so strength is all about this calmness. It's about, even under pressure, having your faculties in place, and patience and persistence and fortitude and conviction and purpose, conviction of your purpose, steadfastness. And then this another message is this gentle energy. So often you'll see a woman in the picture holding the lion's muzzle gently. It's almost as if, well, how is this woman in the first place in the midst of lions without being torn to pieces? It's because she has this presence of calm that it's a gentle, it's almost like I've seen it described as gentle control. And of course, control is an illusion, but if you think about how you go about your day, there's some days where you just have to keep things to yourself, right? Don't say it out loud. Of course, you should speak your truth. If you have truth to speak, you should speak your truth. But if you feel like you're going to say something that's not necessary and it's maybe it won't advance the situation, maybe it just puts fire onto the situation, then maybe that's a choice you have to make. Also, in your day, the decisions that you make can be, I feel this fire energy because we have the Ace of Wands. So there could be a passion about what you want, but there's also passion with restraint. So think about it. If you go full force, sometimes you're not taking it as seriously. It's a little extreme. It's a little too strong. It's a little too much. But if you have passion behind what you're doing, but you have a bit of restraint, then something about that seems a little bit more authentic. It seems more balanced. It seems more honest. It seems more clear and gentle. I know this seems a little strange. Like, there's times where you can be more ferocious and more primal. Primal energy sometimes builds up in us and we need to release it somehow, but today is not the day to do that. And most of the time I think with primal energy, that's something that you should do away from others, howling at the moon, or just going off on the hillside somewhere, dancing under the moonlight. I mean, you can do that with friends or whatever if you're all kind of on the same page. But primal energy is kind of an extreme energy, and here we have that instinct, the primal instinct, but it has to be diffused. It has to be controlled. You're not an animal, right? We have laws and we have rules and we have society, things that we have to deal with. It's not about, conforming. Like, you don't have to conform if it doesn't feel right for you, but it's not the opposite extreme where you're letting loose and everybody else is uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So I don't know why that's coming up, but it's also the Strength card also makes me think of the Beauty and the Beast, and so Beauty and the Beast has this beautiful connection. The beauty, the feminine, the maiden, is the calm force or the guiding light. That's her purpose. The lion is the fierce protector, the one that's by her side, the one that will look out for her and will protect her in any circumstance. And so they worked well together. The maiden giving the lion purpose, but also giving the lion some gentleness, a calming energy. And the lion giving the woman kind of a shield and a protection that she might not otherwise be able to have. And so that therefore they're compatible with each other. Although they're fine individually, they definitely, it's not a codependency, it's just a very nice fit, in other words. So the Ace of Wands is a lot of passion, and here we have the Devil, and to me it's like, if you come at something with too much passion, with not enough control or restraint, then you tip the scales and you go into a devil energy. And devil energy to me is neither bad nor good. It just represents materialism in the extreme, like getting a little bit out of balance. It could be hedonism, so in other words, eating, drinking, having sex too much, or something like that, just too much in that area. And sometimes it's good to release that. Sometimes you need to. So it could be a day where you have a lot of things built up that you need to release. But be aware of how you release it. Be aware of not to overdo it. Just try not to overdo it too much, but definitely indulge in temptations, release some things that you might have. There is some temptation here. Sometimes you just want to give in to bad behavior. Sometimes there is an element of seduction. Either you do it or someone's doing it. It could also represent addictions and acting against your better judgment. So, or sinning, or however you want to put it, a lot of people have different opinions on what that is, what sinning is. Some people are very religious, and just the slightest infraction feels wrong and bad, and they feel guilty for it. And some people feel like they can do a lot, and it's like, it's almost like the pagan energy, like nobody can hold me back. This is I have freedom, I have free will, I can do whatever I want. And so those are two strange extremes. I don't agree with either one extreme, but especially if you go to the extreme of I can do whatever I want, when you do that, you invade other people's rights to have peace and to have, it's similar to, like, say for instance, you live in a neighborhood and somebody turns up the music too loud, and like really, really loud, and you want to go to sleep, let's say it's a Monday night and you have to get up to work on Tuesday or whatever, and the person playing the loud music is just like, well, it's a free country, I can do whatever I want. And yes, that's true. But the person who wants to sleep has a right to have a good night's sleep as well, or has a right to have peace in the neighborhood. So those kind of discussions are usually taken care of through sort of like a homeowners association, or sometimes the police is called in or something like that. But that's what I'm talking about. The restraint, if it's not yours, you restraining yourself, then the restraint comes from outside sources. So it's important not to overdo it. I see, like, if you indulge so much that you're so, let's say, so drunk or whatever, and you're not aware of what you're doing, it's like you're dependent on other people to take care of you in that moment, because you've lost all sense of control for yourself, right? So then comes in someone caring that will help you in that situation. But what if they're not helpful people around you? What if it's a situation that you could get into worse trouble? So those are some clues on the day. But also, I just feel like that's kind of the shadow side of it. There could be just a pure, like, it's just been too long kind of energy, and it's time to get my, just time to indulge in my temptations, indulge in good food, indulge in good drink, or indulge in some loving. It's a Friday. If you're watching in real time and it's Friday, maybe it's end of the week and it's time to party. So keep that in mind. Sometimes indulgences are fine. Like, you have to let go sometimes. You can't always completely restrain yourself 100% every single day. Occasionally it's good to let go a little bit, but you know the consequences if it goes too far and you can't take care of yourself, or you run into problems with other people. So keep that in mind on this day. If it's a mutual, a consensual thing with somebody that you love, I think it could be a really fun, hot, sexy time. So I hope you enjoy it. Just a Pixie Dust.